Your new float pod has arrived in the truck, packaged and assembled in one piece. Make sure you've got a forklift on site or have a moving team to help get the pod off the truck. The pod will be moved in 3 pieces, but first you'll need to remove the connected iPod dock from the float pod. Unscrew the 4 screws mounting the dock to the pod and gently remove the unit. Unplug the headphone cable at the top of the dock and feed it through the hole as shown. Next, pull out the second 3.5mm cable at the bottom of the unit, and finally unplug the blue multi-pin cable and feed all the cords through the hole into the base piece. Make note of how everything was originally connected. Next, you want to remove the door hydraulics before removing the door itself. This is done by pulling out the pin at the top and bottom of each hydraulic and popping it out of the joint. Make sure you have someone else support the weight of the door. After the hydraulics have been removed, unpin the door from the top piece. Do not unbolt the door. Before proceeding, make sure you write down and designate which door hydraulics belong to which pod and if they were mounted on the right or left side of that door. This is very important. Ensure that the music connections have been fed through the base piece and that you've kept all the pins and screws in a safe location. Now let's move on. Next, you'll want to unbolt the top piece from the bottom and carefully move the 3 pieces in, one at a time. You'll definitely want to make sure you have enough clearance in your doors and hallways. Hallways must be at least 6 feet wide, otherwise be prepared to bring in the pieces vertically. Vertical clearance up to 9 feet may be required. Please plan accordingly. Move the base piece into your room first, then the top. Rebolt the 2 pieces back together. Next, pin the door back onto the pod, then reattach and repin the hydraulics onto the door. Next, rewire the iPod dock onto the side of your choosing. Remember to connect the blue multi-pin cord and the top 3.5mm headphone cable. The bottom cable simply pulls through and can be plugged into any audio device. Reconnect the dock to the pod. In your pod room, you will need a 3.5mm male-to-male audio cable if you wish to run audio to an external location, such as the front lobby. This cable will simply plug into the female end at the back of the float pod. You'll also need an Ethernet cable for connection to a wireless or local area network. This Ethernet cable plugs into the black network box at the back of the float pod. Lastly, these 3 cables connect the float pod to the intercom system up front. Use a wire cap to twist the cables together. Lastly, caulk the interior seal with 100% silicone 1 day prior to adding salt and water. Do not plug in or turn on the float pod until salt and water have been added and thoroughly dissolved. Watch the initial salt add video for more information. Congratulations, your new float pod is set up and ready to go.